We've got black PVC sewer piping. So if you've got it here, you've got it through the rest of the house. If I saw a cast iron sewer line here, then chances are I've got cast and or other sewer piping throughout the rest of the house as well. The problem with cast is it breaks, and the seals, they just put some gunk around them and put them together. They're not screwed together, they're not glued together properly, and they disintegrate. So if you've got people who are doing new, like if you get into a home that's in the 30s and 40s, it's pretty much all cast. So PVC is good. The water lines though are copper. So copper lines, as you see throughout most of these, are all soldered. Now the newer stuff is called PVC, it's plastic, but there was a time where there was some gray stuff, and it's plastic gray, and it's called PEX pipe. That stuff got used for a while, but then got discontinued. They found that it broke, and there was an apartment here in Saskatoon, I can't think of the name of it right now, where the whole apartment building was made of this PEX pipe, and the toilets all started to leak, and they broke. And the lines broke in behind the toilets, and the toilet is running all the time, right? And so it flooded time after time after time. These kept breaking and flooding, and then they finally realized there's something wrong with this. And sure enough, there was bad PEX pipe going through. So the newer plastic, really good stuff. The copper, really good stuff. The old homes, you'll find lead pipes in them. Of course, we should recommend that we want to get rid of lead pipes, because lead pipes could cause lead poisoning over time. If you have lead pipes, the recommendation is run the water for quite a while before you drink out of it, or use a outside water filtering system or an outside water source, like your Britas, not your Britas, but your Culligan water tanks, that kind of stuff, because you can shower in it, you can wash your dishes in it, you can do everything else with it, you just shouldn't ingest it. So drinking lead water, obviously, over time is not a good idea. So this has air conditioning in it, and the air conditioning line runs into this right here. Where does this go?
Storm sewer.
I feel like there's two different pipes last time.
Someone said storm sewer.
No,
Is there going to be a storm in here?
No.
So where does a storm sewer get access? Where does the water first enter from the world into a storm sewer?
Yeah.
Out there, out on the street. That's those ones you see on the sidewalks, where the sidewalk and the road meet together. Those are storm. These are sanitation sewers. So this will take any moisture that's going into it and take it directly out into the sanitation, where your toilets, sinks, showers, etc. go. What else goes into here? Your weeping tile. So your weeping tile is around here, and it comes, and if you lift this up, you'll see your weeping tile will come out the side of this, and it'll drop into here.
Is it possible to see that? I've never seen it.
Carrie, I've got to get going, but thank you so much.
Right there. So go to that side. Use your light of your camera if you want. You see this pipe right here?
Okay.
Okay. That's where it'll come in. So if you've got anything else in here, humidifiers, anything else that drops water, it should drop into here, and it should go out to the city system. Okay? Now this, in the new areas, they want this, they want your, they want your storm sewers to get filled with the outside water. So now that's where these sump pumps are pumped outside, so that they will run to the storm sewer system and not have to get treated.
Okay.
If they go through here, they go through the sewer system and has to get treated. So there's a cost to that, and they're smaller pipes. These pipes here are only like 6-8 inches going out, and then they're only like a couple of feet after that. The storm sewers, you can almost walk in them. So they can handle big flash floods. These can't. So if you get water backups, it's because they're confusing the two. They're getting too much water into the smaller pipes, and that's why they've changed that up. So in these new homes, if someone gets a sump pump into it, they're not going to want them to pump them into here. They're going to want to pump them over the ground, out to the street, and get into the storm sewer systems.
So are you able to put those pipes from the sump underground? Is that allowed?
I wouldn't.
Okay, because in case they crack, right?
Well, because they run in the wintertime too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So the problem will be, like, The new ones, you can ask permission to have a valve in there so that if it's running in the wintertime as well, you can turn it so it will come here in the wintertime, because we're not going to get a flash flood in the wintertime. And so it can handle it after that. It's in the summertime, you don't want it, but you have to ask permission from the city to be able to do that. So everything else they want above ground, they do not want it underground of any kind.
Because I've had people saying they don't really like that.
I agree. I agree. And there's some people will put shrubs over them. They'll put some gravel over it to try and hide it and stuff, but they don't want you to dig it down by any means. You need to be able to make sure it's not plugged, be able to see it coming out. The other things that you'll see in here is the ductwork, like we talked about, and you'll see the PVC piping of the furnace here as well, and you'll see which ones are vents and stuff. So again, if you walk into a furnace and you see pipes in here, you'll say to them, oh, it's a high efficient furnace. What's high efficient mean for a furnace? Above 90%. What's high efficient mean for a water heater?
75.
About 75 to 80. So your water heater is your most inefficient gas appliance in your house. And so when they say, I got to change the furnace to save on power, save on natural gas, change your water heater first. You'll see a bigger difference changing your water heater than you will in your furnace if you're having to prioritize, for sure.
How long does a water heater last, typically in Saskatoon?
The old ones, 40, 50 years. The new ones, 10 to 15. Yeah.
Now it's
It's better than Regina.
But it's getting worse. Like our water is actually good quality. Regina, 2 to 3 years. That's why most of them in Regina rent theirs. That's where the renting of water heaters came from, was from Regina. Now you're seeing it a little bit in Saskatoon. So always make sure that you're looking for tags. They'll say rentals on them. If you're going through, you'll see a rental tag on the water heater itself. You'll also see installation tags on the gas lines. If they say, well, when was this furnace put in? Well, there's a 2017 gas inspection that was done here. And there was also a 2009 gas inspection. So I'm guessing, where's the water heater? Is it behind there?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay, so probably one was the water heater and one was the furnace. One was 09 and one was 17. And by looking at it, you'd be able to tell which one was which. And so you just go through some of the basics. The other things that you'll notice different from new home construction is the floor joists. So these floor joists are fir joists. Fir is a very hard wood to pound into. It's not considered a hardwood, but it's a hard wood to go into. But you'll see a lot of construction done in fir, where the new ones are now I-beams or the I-construction. Fir can only span so far without it having to have a support. So usually 8 feet. Again, you're going to have some kind of a support wall to prop up any fir flooring, and then that's where your line and your help me, Marty. The posts.
Telepost?
Your teleposts will be in that line. There'll most likely be a row all the way up and down the entire basement. That's most likely going to be where it is. So if you have a partial wall and a full wall, it's the full wall. No wall is a supporting wall in a basement. The inside can be totally gutted out and opened up, and you'll just have some teleposts. Those teleposts can be moved if you strengthen the beam. The technology now is better, so you could put steel beams in, or you could put laminated beams in there, and instead of going 8 feet, so if they want to open something up, but there's a beam or there's a telepost in the way, well, you can do it. We're going to have to put in a bigger, stronger beam to hold the rest of the house up. So nothing's impossible. We could make this into a 2-story house. We could lift the roof off. We could add more things. We're just going to have to change things. It's going to cost a lot of money, but nothing's impossible. So when they're doing this, make sure you tell them that, well, that's not impossible. It's just going to be really expensive. Okay, well, I really like to have this wall opened up. Okay, once you open it up, there could be teleposts. If there's teleposts, you might have to support that beam more. Okay, I want to do this. Okay, fine. Okay, the rim joists that you see here are foam. The newer ones now are pre-made with foam inside the wood. So when the builders are making them, they've got an insulated rim joist already. But you will either have these foam ones, or you'll see plastic with fiberglass insulation in behind them. You have to have those. That's code, and it has to be secured. So if you go in there and all the plastic's been ripped down, yeah, it doesn't, for insulating a basement, it's not code. Dryer vent. This one they've actually got the newer stuff on. If they've got the white plastic stuff, totally against code now. It's fire hazard. So stuff goes in there, it melts, it burns. So if you see long runs of it, make sure you tell them you're gonna have to get that changed. If you see a dryer that's got multiple angles to it before it gets outside, for every angle, it cuts off about 6 feet of flow. And a dryer's designed only to go 15 to 20 feet tops. Every angle takes that number back about 6 feet. So if you've got 2 elbows here from 20 feet, now you're down to 8, right? So if you run a dryer too far with lots of angles, at the other end, you'll get no flow of air out the other end, and you won't be drying your clothes efficiently. You'll have to put a booster fan in. So if you see these big long runs, you go, oh my God, to be more efficient, you're gonna need to put some booster fans in here, or at least one inline booster fan in here. Oh, okay, what's that gonna cost? You need to talk to a plumber about that. You need to talk to someone who knows that. They're not hard to put in, but they're gonna be needed, because if it's, like, this is great, this one goes from here to the wall, it's out, it's done. But lots of the new ones, they're upstairs, they're running downstairs, they're running out walls, and they might go 15 feet before and then they have 6 angles to them. Okay, well, you're not gonna have any flow by the end of that thing. So turn on your dryer, see how much flow you got coming out. If it's good, great. If not, you might have to put a booster fan in there. And then always clean it out on a regular basis. It should be something that you guys do, like in your yearly things, is clean out your dryer vents. And they have things you can put on the end of a drill that just go in and out and suck out the dryer dust that's in them. And I did mine this year. I filled an entire garbage bag because we were getting low, like it was taking a long time to dry our stuff. I ran that thing in and out. I couldn't believe how much stuff over the years, and this is the second time we've done it in 20 years. So in 10 years, it did an awful lot. It should be something you do on a regular basis. So
What about your HRV?
same thing. Yeah, this one doesn't obviously have an HRV, but any of the filters there, like obviously your furnace should be done 4 times a year. HRV should be done at least once a year. Any of that kind of stuff on a regular maintenance. And again, that's something as a realtor, if we have them set up on a system where we're sending them emails for reminders, a constant reminder, oh, Kyle sent me that thing. It's, that's a good thing. It keeps reminding me of things I should be doing. Keeps you in the top of their mind. That's a great thing to have. Okay.